All right, boys and girls, it's about that time of day again here, folks. Wrapping up an awesome week here with our nightly newsletter for Thursday, May 22nd, 2014. My name is Joseph James, broadcasting live from sunny Los Angeles, California, our corporate headquarters here at School of Trade. Want to welcome you guys to our newsletter here. We're making it right up to the Memorial Day weekend here. We got one more trading day left. It's going to be a small, short time tomorrow morning. We'll get you guys prepared for that in a moment. Here's what to expect on tonight's newsletter. First of all, we'll talk about what happened in the markets today. Crude oil pulls back. Gold continues to go sideways, which now, of course, is a good thing for all you gold traders. We'll talk about that in a moment. And, of course, we can't forget about the mighty Russell. The Russell catches a bid from China overnight. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. So we'll take a look at what happened today in the markets. Pretty exciting day in the markets for the day before a big, long holiday weekend here in the U.S. Then, of course, once we're done talking about what happened in the markets today, we're going to transition to prepping for tomorrow. We've got some news to talk about for tomorrow. We'll talk about the plan for tomorrow morning, which is an early close in the pit. So we get a half day tomorrow. We want to be ready for it tomorrow. And then, end of this newsletter tonight, we're going to roll up our sleeves and we're going to grab our charts and get ready for tomorrow's trading opportunities going into the Memorial Day holiday weekend. All right, guys? Now, before we jump into the charts here this evening, I want to remind you here, get over to sidewaysmarkets.com, sidewaysmarkets.com. That's our day trading blog. If you're watching this video right now on our YouTube page or anything else besides our blog right now, get over to sidewaysmarkets.com and scroll on down because there are three important things I want you guys to be aware of. First of all, right below the video, there is a link right below the video so that you can download all of today's charts. Now, why is that important? Well, that way you can download the charts and have them ready for tomorrow, or you can have them with you while I'm going over those charts here this evening. So pause the video and then go to sidewaysmarkets.com, go below the video, and make sure you click on that link right there and download a copy of tonight's newsletter as well as all the charts. And then you can have them off to the side while you're watching the video with me, or you can simply use them tomorrow in my live trade room while you're with me taking trade calls tomorrow, or you can use it on your own tomorrow as well. Alrighty? Second thing is, we have a free pass waiting for you to come out and see us here. Now, every afternoon, Monday through Thursday, we invite you guys out to join us in our live trade room. I get a special free pass for you this evening. Click on that little ticket icon there you see. Give me your name and your email address, and I'll send you an invite to our live trade room. The very next session is open. That'll be next Tuesday afternoon. And then, of course, last but not least, if you find value in our newsletter, you can make sure you never miss a newsletter ever again by registering for our newsletter mailing list. Just find my ugly mug and give me your name and your email address right there, and I promise you guys I will not let you down. Every evening, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we send out our nightly newsletter, and you'll be the first one to get it. Also, don't forget, if you find value in this newsletter, so will other people. Make sure you forward this to a friend so they can benefit along with all the analysis tonight as well. Alrighty? Looking good. Let's roll up those sleeves. Let's take a look at, first of all, what happened today. Now, I didn't have a crystal ball, but if you remember from last night's newsletter, we talked about the fact that all this bullish pressure on crude was probably going to result in a pullback. So I gave you guys three directions to be worried about or to be prepared for today, right? Those three directions were up, sideways, and lower. Now, besides the higher, we actually had two trading opportunities today on crude. But many of you might be thinking, but Joe, it was so slow out there on crude today. Well, it was. But the first portion of the session, we found a lovely sideways range, and we were able to use that sideways range for buying opportunities at the low and selling opportunities at the highs. Exactly what I told you guys about last night. And then, of course, later on in the session, crude finally drops a little bit, right? Starts to catch a little bit of a profit taking, we would assume. We, of course, had jobless claims, didn't come out very hot. We had a great existing home sales number today at 10 o'clock, so obviously they weren't reacting to that. Profit taking on crude, you saw a nice drop off these highs, And exactly what I said last night, you had selling opportunities as it goes lower. So if you were with me last night, you are not only prepared for today, but hopefully you're able to profit right along with us today, according to our analysis from last night. So today, not a lot happened today. Only had about 66, 68 ticks of range. We closed still above 103. We did close below 104. That obviously is a good thing for the bears out there. We opened here, you can see today. We opened today right where we left off from yesterday. So literally nothing happened overnight. Surprise, surprise. That wasn't very surprising there. And then, of course, we closed all the way down to the lows. So look at how we changed kind of personalities here. We opened at the high. That's bullish. But we closed down near the lows. That's bearish. The big clue here, though, is the volume. The volume pile up here at 103.87 is almost right in the middle. All right. And so you can see here about maybe 30, 35% off that high. So very, very likely we continue to try to make new higher highs. But this volume definitely tells me we're not as bullish as you might think, but we're definitely not, we're not selling off yet. All right. Because you can see a lot of the volume here piles up at that 103.87. That means that's where the most amount of trading was done, just below that 104. So definitely not bullish, but I can't quite say we're extremely bearish yet either. If I had to guess right now, going into tomorrow, pending there's no news that happens overnight, right? Because that's what happened to the Russell today. The Russell caught a bid because of some very strong manufacturing news out of China overnight. So pending any unforeseen news coming out overnight, I expect us to keep pulling back. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised one bit if we come all the way back to the low of this channel, either by the end of the session tomorrow or by the end of the day on Monday. All right? Hey, possibly Sunday night. So we'll see what happens. We're going to have to catch a little bit of support down here before we start making our way back higher here. Right now, I think a lot of what's happening is traders are waiting for what's the next development to come out of Ukraine, what's the next news we're going to get out of China, what's the next shoe to drop. Because you can definitely tell here, this morning it was quiet. I mean, you could hear a pin drop this morning in Crude. It was so quiet, and it felt like we had that analysis paralysis. So it feels like right now the only thing traders know is that price did push to 104, but now they're struggling to find a reason to keep it there. And by the way, correction, Monday's a holiday. It'll be Tuesday. All right? Now, crazy things can happen over a holiday weekend. All right? Especially here in the U.S. Our Fed, our White House, they love to make these moves over these holiday weekends when they think the general public aren't watching. Right? This happens all the time. In fact, just recently, was the last holiday we had? Last holiday we had, they snuck something in too. I can't remember what it was now. But whenever we have these 3, 4-day weekends for holidays, just be aware, crazy stuff happens when all the powers that be think that we aren't paying attention. All right, so don't be surprised if we get some news out overnight tonight, news over the weekend, policy changes, political commentary that will shake this thing up right now. So my gut tells me we keep pulling back here, but that's only a gut, right? Obviously, I need to wait for price action tomorrow morning. I'm going to follow the trend, and right now that trend is down. We're hunting for that 103. Most important numbers right now are definitely going to be that 103. That's the top of the gap, 102.44, bottom of the gap, prior week high, 102.29. And of course, this trend line right here makes up this larger channel, right? If you recall, that's how we projected that high up at 104 was because we came off the low of the channel and then watch out all the way up to 104. So that's how we projected the top of that move. Now, as you can see here, we're pulling right back. All right. So again, gut tells me we go lower in tomorrow, but I'm going to be waiting patiently to see what the personnel looks like when I get to my desk tomorrow morning and see if these buyers really are still as weak as they appear to be right now. All right. So there's your crude. As you can see, slow day today. But again, if you knew what you were looking for, the sideways range at the beginning was great buying and selling opportunities. And then once we started seeing those lower lows, later on in the session, it was very easy to know why it was going lower and to really jump on that bus and go lower with it. Moving now here to the mighty mini Russell. Now the Russell was completely balanced this time last night. And if you remember, we talked about on the Russell As price moves higher, I'm selling the highs. Well, you did get a chance here to sell that prior week open and sell that prior week high before, right, it pushed a little bit higher there. It was very bullish right at the opening bell this morning, and this is something we talked about in the trade room. Remember, all I can do the night before is anticipate and find areas of support and resistance that I'm going to use to trade off of. My job as a trader, though, is I have to come in the next morning and take a look at what the price action is telling me. And this morning, what we saw was clearly the bulls were in charge. So we open up our chart this morning. We see the bulls are in control in the Russell. A quick overview of the overnight news, and we see that the Chinese manufacturing number, which came out early this morning in the U.S., right? Late in the day in the U.S., just before midnight. That number missed expectations, but there was a big jump in new orders, and so I think people got a little bit optimistic, a little bit excited about a possible turnaround here coming out of Chinese manufacturing. Bottom line is, it doesn't matter what happened. All that matters really is that we came in this morning and we immediately saw the buyers in control. There were a couple selling opportunities here. You can see as we pushed higher, there was the first short off yesterday's previous high, and then another short here coming in off of the weekly range highs, because we're still dealing with the highs of that range. So no matter what happened, you still had some very easy selling opportunities as this price went higher. But clearly, though, the Russell has caught a bit of an uptrend here right now. The key number right now is going to be, can we get and stay above this 15.4? Because obviously that goes all the way back here. I believe it was last Wednesday's highs. So we get a week-long range here we're trying to break out of. Tomorrow, if we do start jumping up here, you know where we're headed, right? Now, that little pink line there, that is a trend line. And then, of course, you get the prior week high at 1135. So my key levels here for tomorrow, if we go higher, are going to be, see if I zoom all the way out here, you can see that trend line coming in off the highs there. So if I zoom back in here, I've got a couple important levels here, one being that trend line and two being that prior week high up there at 35.1. So if we jump up tomorrow morning, if this trend continues to go higher here, now you know where we're going to be taking our profit targets. And if we get up there quickly, I'll be looking for a reversal here early in the session tomorrow if we get up there quickly. All right, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. If we drop back lower, okay, if we do end up going lower here, well, first of all, if we go higher, we know what we're looking at, right? If we go sideways, the prior week open. If we sit sideways here tomorrow, be very careful because that's a dotted line. And if you remember with me in the trade room, we always talk about the fact these dotted lines are not the places to be entering into new trades. And then, of course, if we go lower, I've got my eye here on today's low at 1109, the prior week close at 1099.2, 1090 even, right? And you can see here the levels as we go lower. All right, guys? So difficult to tell where we go from here. This chart's not going to help us out with our plan for tomorrow, but stick around, though, because I got another great chart for you here in the Russell. We're going to give you some more clues as far as where we're going here in tomorrow's session. So 145 ticks of range today. Closing price pretty much right up near those highs. As you can see here, we opened on the bullish side, opened near the highs, closed near the highs, volume near the highs, bullish, 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 2 days bullish. Again, very difficult to find a reason to be bearish right now in this Russell unless tomorrow we try to get pushing higher and fail. If we fail to get out of that range high tomorrow, be on the lookout for a big collapse here early tomorrow in the session. Remember, the market's closed just after noontime tomorrow, so we're not going to have much time to see that failure late in the day. All right, so early day tomorrow. So right now, top of the range, if we don't see the buyers take full control, we are nothing but sellers here. All right, if we don't see these buyers take full control, we're looking to sell and go right back to, again, the low from today, the prior week close, the 1090, 1084, and of course possibly all the way back down to the prior week low at 1078.7. It would not surprise me. Alrighty, now you know the deal for the Russell today. Again, push higher. News out of China giving a little bit of a bump higher there this morning. And now, of course, last but not least, we got the gold. What a funny market we have right now. So gold still inside of its prior week's range. If I zoom out of this, you can see now we're right inside of the prior week's range. We're inside the last 2 weeks' range. And this thing clearly is waiting on something. Boy, I'll tell you, the global economy really slowing down with metals, copper, silver, gold. A little bit concerning for the overall economic growth of the entire globe. But hey, whatever we do is going to rely on the price action. So right now, completely balanced, right inside the middle of this range. I can draw another trend line here, but really we're right in the middle here of this weekly range. So there's not a lot of clues that we get out of this right now, right? Yesterday, we closed down near the lows. This morning, we gap up, right? There's not a lot of rhyme or reason right now out of this gold being inside the range from 2 weeks ago. But on this chart, it doesn't give me much of a handle on it, right? Wait till you see the anchor chart in just a few moments, because the next chart we look at is definitely going to give us a lot more clues as far as tomorrow's trading. All right. Today here though, 106 ticks, relatively narrow. We closed below 1300, which of course is bearish, below the big round number. We opened higher, which is bullish, but we closed lower with the volume at the highs. So it just goes to show you here how wacky this gold really is. Gap up, go all the way up, and then wham, right back down where we came from. Volume, you can see here, is up near the highs. So clearly there was some interest in testing this prior week high, but clearly that interest did not last very long, and it looks like as of that news here at 8:30, apparently those jobless claims were enough to push this gold back lower. Now again, this chart does not tell us what to expect for tomorrow. If I had to guess right now, I would say since we closed at the lows, right, we keep on going lower. But we see what the heck happened yesterday. That wasn't exactly a very big indicator for tomorrow. So right now, we'll take this the way it is, but hold on tight, because another chart here on gold is going to give us all the important levels that we need for tomorrow. On this chart, though, I've got very important levels at the prior week high, 1309.2. I've got the 1305.7. That's the range high. Another very important level down bottom here, 1287.7, 1286.3. And again, we've got a couple trend lines down bottom here that will also be support. All right. It looks like we're bearish right now, heading down towards the 1286.3 prior day low. But at the same time, you can see here, we're kind of stuck in the mud right now, right around the prior week open and the prior week close. And if you think about it, remember, think about the significance of the prior week open and the prior week close being this close together. Does not happen very often, does it? We actually have it on Crude right now too. What that means is that we opened the session last week and we closed the week pretty much identical price. That is completely balanced. So now we're compounding this now on gold. We're completely balanced as of right now in the middle of the range. And of course, the last 2 weeks have been like this too. Okay, so we're going to see another chart in a moment, and you're going to see for yourself the exact levels and the exact strategies we're going to use to capitalize on gold for tomorrow. All right, so that takes care of gold. Now, before we jump into the charts here for tomorrow, let's get ready for tomorrow's news. Now, just like we've been talking about all week, we have a shortened week this week, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. This is the 4th week of the month. We actually even have a full week next week, except for, of course, Monday, the holiday. But we have this is the 4th week of the month. Normally the 4th week of the month is the end of the month. We still have another full week of trading next week, so I'm very excited about that. We have Memorial Day weekend. We have an early close tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. They might as well make it 12 o'clock Eastern Time tomorrow, because you're not going to see anybody who's trading after noontime tomorrow is either ignorant of the fact that we're closing early or they have no choice. And just like every Friday, when we start to trade with these emotional traders, right, as my good friend Warren Buffett always says, if you're going to play polo, you better play polo with professionals. Because if you don't, you're going to get your head taken off with a mallet, right? It's like anything else in this world. If you do business with professionals, you'll be okay. But tomorrow afternoon, anything after noontime, you're either ignorant, right, to the reality of the close at 2 o'clock, or you have no choice. So either you're a rookie and you have no clue what you're doing, or you've got some sort of urgent reason that you have to be trading. In either scenario, guys, I don't want to be anywhere near that. So I'm going to recommend stop trading tomorrow, definitely afternoon time. We'll probably see that self-fulfilling prophecy, traders hitting the exits, about 10:30 tomorrow morning. All right, so set your clock for 10:30 tomorrow and start watching that price action slow down. And if you smell the barbecue grill in the background, then you know Friday's done and the long weekend begins. We've got one news event tomorrow, and normally Fridays, the best price action is very heavily weighted towards the beginning of the session. So London and the first few hours of the U.S. session tomorrow are going to be the sweet spot tomorrow morning. 10 o'clock new home sales. We saw a very strong existing home sales today. I think the most important wrinkle in today's existing home sales was the fact that the supply had now increased. We went from a 3-month supply, I think, to a 7.5 to an 8-month supply of single-family homes. The last few years, we've seen nothing but multi-unit and multi-family commercial, so condos, apartments, multi-unit, right, 4plexes, 10plexes, things like that, which suggests that the only real estate being purchased or built would be apartments or inner city, right, things like that. Now we're seeing a glut in the supply, and that's been the reason why the single families haven't been selling. There hasn't been any available. Anybody who's tried to find a home for sale the past 12 months has had a very difficult time finding a single family home, right? Just a home without multi-units. And so that says a lot. That tells me now that people are back in the game. I was just talking to a client this afternoon who was recently getting his hair cut down the street, talking to the barber, and his numbers are back up, right? Talking about shaves, right? Those luxury purchases at a barbershop. So very interesting. Some of the key indicators that we like to follow here are starting to really bubble up here right now. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the future, but tomorrow we got new home sales at 10 o'clock in the morning. So be ready for new home sales, but definitely expect to see that personality change, the market personality, the price action, the volume will most likely be dropping considerably after 10:30 tomorrow morning. So set your alarm clock and don't forget about that early close. And then don't forget, Monday is a holiday. All right, I will be in the office because, of course, I love what I do. I hope you guys do too. I'll be in the office on Monday, but I'm going to make sure, though, that we're ready for Tuesday's trading, okay? So Monday is a close, right? Monday's not open, so no trading on Monday, all right? I want you guys to enjoy the weekend, spend the most valuable commodity we have, time, with your family and friends. So the next newsletter will be on Tuesday afternoon, all right? So Tuesday's newsletter will be the next one you see. So no trading on Monday, short day tomorrow, and no newsletter on Monday afternoon. All right, guys? Now you guys know the plan for tomorrow's news. Let's jump right into it here now. Opening up our charts here, we'll start with gold. Now, last night on the newsletter, I gave you guys the exact specific numbers here to sell short at. These are the exact same numbers that I had from last night's newsletter. And as you can see here, another buying opportunity at the lows, another selling opportunity at the highs. Guys, if you've been buying lows and selling highs on gold this week with me, you have made a killing. Now, anybody else who looks at this chart would say, oh man, too bad you couldn't make any money off that right now, huh? Wait, what? That's the beauty of being a day trader. I don't need this thing to move very much, guys. Just this little tiny move off these highs, just this little teeny tiny move is worth over $840 per contract, right? That's 84 ticks right there on gold. 84 ticks, that's $840 per contract. Yeah, you can't make any money at all. Yeah, right. 85 ticks times 3 or 4 contracts, guys, that's all you need. That's all you need. You don't need to see big, huge moves out of this stuff. So this newsletter, this last 3 weeks on gold has been very, very profitable. So hopefully you guys have been able to make some money off that as well. And as you can see, we're still inside this narrow range. And at this point, who cares if this continues? I'm buying the lows. I'm selling the highs. As you guys can see here, we've got everything marked up for you. 3 levels overhead to sell at, 3 levels below to buy at. All we need now is to get the heck out of the middle right now, get me down to these lows so I can buy those lows, get me up to those highs so I can sell those highs again. All right? Don't fiddle with the middle. Buy those lows, sell those highs. All right, guys? And be ready for anything here, because as we get narrower, we're destined to see something here happen. Maybe it'll be next week. I don't think it's going to be tomorrow. So tomorrow, buy those lows, sell those highs, and of course, don't be fiddling in the middling. All right? You get the gold for tomorrow. How about the mighty Russell? Now, this time yesterday, we had the Russell in a price wedge, right? So there was the wedge that we had yesterday on the Russell. If you remember, I gave you guys a couple levels right here. And so there were 2 opportunities here today to sell short at those highs. It happened just about noontime. So it's just about lunchtime here, okay, on the Russell. What I want you guys to remember now is now we are right in the middle of this bigger range now. So things are going to be a little bit sloppier up high here. My number one priority right now is to follow my trend. And my trend, as you can see, is slightly bullish right now. I want to buy when I have a bullish trend, but I don't want to buy when. I don't want to buy at the highs. I don't want to buy at a premium. All right? You wouldn't want to buy a car after it was recently doubled in price, would you? No. You would want to buy a car after that car was discounted in price, as long as the value is still there, obviously. Okay, so we want to buy at a discounted price. So what I'm going to look for here is I'm going to look for price to pull back before we look to buy it again. All right, now, if we go higher, I need to get above the 15.4 if I'm going to start buying pullbacks and going higher right now. So let's play that game we always like to do. What if price goes higher? What if price goes lower? And what if price goes sideways? If price goes higher, we're going to use this 15.4 as a reversal line. All right, members, you should know what that means. All right, a reversal line, which means once we get above that 15.4, then I can proceed to buying with the wave pattern up to the levels above me. As you can see, we got about 10 points of room, or 100 ticks of room, between 15 up into that, let's say, 23 to 25 area there. All right, so we got about 80 to 100 ticks of room. That's plenty of space for us to slip in a little buy order there. That's only if we get another bull push here, whether it be overnight or tomorrow morning. I would expect now, though, since today was a little bit low volume, I would expect here for price to pull back. Now, like I always say, I can sell short with this on a pullback, but that's going to be a counter trend trade. So if you sell short on this pullback, make sure you protect that capital, lock up some quick profit, because we just don't know how far this will pull back before it jumps up and goes higher again. So if I'm trading with the trend, I like to let it run. If I'm trading against the trend, I'm going to take the money and run. All right? If I'm going with the trend, I let it run. I'm trading against the trend, as in going short right now against the short-term trend. I'm going to take the money and run, which means I'm going to look for quick profit targets. And you can definitely tell one of those targets will be down around 2.7. All right, so that will definitely be where a good final target would be, but I would definitely want to take a quick profit target on the way short just in case this bullish trend turns around and continues to push higher. And then, of course, finally, last but not least, will be the sideways range, right? If we push higher, got to go above 15.4. If we push lower, it's a counter trend trade, take the money and run, right? If we go sideways here, and this may happen. This may definitely happen because, again, we're going to a holiday weekend. We may not see much volume tomorrow. If we get a sideways range, what I'm going to do is the same thing we did today on crude. We're going to find that range high, find that range low, buy those lows, sell those highs, and we'll keep doing that until it fails. So we are ready for anything here tomorrow. I would much rather, though, buy on a pullback. I would love to buy this 1102.7. That's definitely where my best entry will be long. I've got 1097.4. And last but not least here, I don't think we're going to get all the way down to tomorrow, but 1087.1. Those are the 3 locations below us to look for buying opportunities. As we go higher, I have major resistance here at 15.4. So again, I don't really feel like buying right now. If we go above the 15.4 though and stay above it, members, you should know what I mean when I say reversal line. Okay, we're then going to be buying up to that 23 even and possibly 29.6. But that's where it stops. We get a number of different trend lines here. I will then look to sell at this area above, selling at the 35.1. In fact, if you look closely here, you can see the short-term range high is up at that 35.1. So wouldn't it be nice and easy to think that we're going to jump up here tomorrow morning, possibly, right, get through these areas. I'm going to sell short at the highs here first. If it happens to, well, let me back up. I'm going to look for a selling opportunity here, right? I'm not just going to hit the buy button or hit the sell button. I have to wait for the proper pattern. So just because I go to the highs here does not mean I'm closing my eyes and selling short. It means I'm going to look for the reversal, two-step, dragon, right? 3-point reversal, double top reversal, whatever the pattern that we find is. But if we happen to torch those, if we torch that resistance, I am definitely keeping a close eye on these highs because this could be another spot here, either for profit if we're very bullish and buying, but I would imagine though it would be a very good spot for a reversal. So selling here at the highs at 35.1, 23 even, 15.4, buying down here at 027, 99.7, 97.4, 93.2, and of course 87.1 and 83.5. All right, there's your mighty mini Russell. I will be drooling over a buy here if we can pull back here, right? We'll love to get a pullback right now so I can get long right along with everybody else. All right, guys? And then, of course, last but not least, we left you holding here, hanging on for crude. Crude was one of those days today where we pretty much knew what to expect, right? We knew what to expect. I wasn't really expecting to see higher prices today. My guess last night was we went sideways or lower, and you can see that's pretty much both what we got. We got some sideways range early in the session, and then we started to see that pullback here. I'm nowhere near where I need to be here though, to be buying now. I don't feel confident yet to tell you guys to buy just yet until we get down at least to this 102.99. So 103, big round number, that's your magnet. Remember, if you're selling short right now on crude, be disciplined, don't get greedy. Take your profit relatively quickly, but leave a runner on there down to that 103 area. But if I'm short on crude right now, I'm going to be clipping off little profit targets on the way down because, again, we just don't know when the next comment will come out of Putin's mouth or out of the White House here in the U.S. We just don't know how far back this thing will pull back. The ideal scenario, though, is I'm buying 102.99, 102.68, I'm buying 102.25, 101.99, I'm buying 101.63, and 101.30. Those are three areas here. If I could pick two of them, though, I've got two right here. These are my favorite two right here, the first two you see coming down here. All right, I would love to find this market down near these lows, then start seeing it push higher. We'll then start jumping into our buy patterns to get long here with it. Got a profit target up top there at 104.68. All right, 104.68. All right, guys, we got a lot of opportunity here, but we don't have much more time this week. All right, a lot of opportunity right now, but not a lot of time left. As you guys know, tomorrow's an early close. So on our best behavior tomorrow, we've had a very profitable week. It doesn't make any sense to give back the profit tomorrow by forcing trades. Again, if you smell the barbecue grill firing up after 10:30, 11 o'clock, you know what's going on. All right, you know what's going on. And last but not least, I want to thank you guys for being a part of this nightly newsletter this week. We've had a great week this week in our trade room. We've had a great week here in the newsletter. Very profitable trades here around all the markets. I want to encourage you, though, come on out and see us as a student. At SchoolOfTrade.com, my wife Megan and I built SchoolOfTrade.com. We worked our fingers to the bone 10 years ago to create a community of traders where everyone can learn and earn in a safe and effective environment. Safe is the key word. Anybody can teach you about the markets, but how you apply that knowledge in a safe environment so you're making money every day without risking everything. All right? We have very small amounts of risk and very large amounts of reward on all the trading opportunities that we find. We have beginner, intermediate, and advanced level memberships, and we offer a great free trial. That free trial comes including a ticket to attend our live trade room as a guest, and I would invite you guys to share this information with a friend and come out and see us sometime, either as a guest or as a brand new advanced member in our live trade room. Once again, my name is Joseph James. Have yourselves a fantastic long holiday weekend. And as I say every afternoon, our most valuable commodity, no, it's not crude, no, it's not gold, it is TIME. You know, we only get about 90, 95 years on this planet, and we always wish we had more time with our family and friends. Take the time this weekend to spend some time with those family and friends. Remember to invest your most valuable commodity where it counts the most. All right, guys, on that note, have a great weekend. Be well. Have a great, safe weekend, and we'll see you on Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time or Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for next week's first nightly newsletter. Signing off now from sunny Los Angeles, California at our corporate headquarters. My name is Joseph James. Remember to learn it so you can earn it, and have a great weekend, guys and gals. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye for now.